Now same switches again, right? Same switches again. Switch 1, this is root bridge, right? We have elected, the election has happened, and this is a root bridge. This is switch 2, and it is non-root bridge. Non-root bridge. Done. Now it is sending BPDUs. Switch 1 is sending BPDUs, right? Switch 1 is sending BPDUs. Now the leader is elected. Now it is time to elect who is a root port and who is a designated port, right? I will tell you the responsibility of root port and designated port. Always remember, root port is the port which receives the BPDUs. Okay, whatever the BPDUs is a switch receives, it will only receive them on the root port. Okay, and on a switch you will always be having only one root port. You will always be having only one root port. Okay, so root port is the port on which the switch receives the BPDUs, not the data, BPDUs. Okay, this is the root port. Or else you can tell the port which has lowest cost to reach the root bridge. Okay, the port on which the switch receives the BPDUs is also the correct answer. Or else the port which has the lowest cost to reach the root bridge is called root port. Okay, now for suppose think that right, will root bridge will have any root port? No, because root bridge will always generate the BPDUs and it will send them out. It will never receive the BPDU. Why? Why? Because it itself is a root bridge. It will never receive any other switches BPDUs. So it will never have root port. Okay. So root port will always be existing on non-root bridges itself, not on the root bridge. Okay. So now we want to elect the root port, right? So on switch 2 only we'll be doing the root port election. Okay, on switch 1 will not be having it, will not have root port because it will never receive the BPDUs. Got it? So on switch 1, for suppose think that on switch 1 it is receiving the BPDUs. It is receiving the BPDUs, right? It received on this port number 1 on port number 1 and on port number 2. Okay, it received on the port number 1 and port number 2. Okay, on port number it received the BPDU and it came to know that my cost switch 2 is calculating now. Switch 2 will calculate that I received BPDU on my port number 1. If I want to reach the root bridge through port number 1, my cost will be 10, which on port number 1. Now switch 2 will calculate for port number 2. What is my cost? 20. Then whom will it elect? Lowest cost. So port number 1 will be the root. Port number 1 will be the, okay. So usually the election criteria will be like this. First, root bridge ID is compared. Okay, first root bridge ID is compared. For suppose think that this switch 2 is receiving BPDU from some other switch also. For suppose think that switch 3, right? It is receiving from switch 1 and it is receiving from switch 3. Okay, now it will check switch 3 is sending me the BPDU. I am receiving the BPDU from switch 1 also. Then it will check the root bridge ID of switch 1 and the root bridge ID of switch 3. Now there are two leaders. It has to follow only one, right? It has to follow only one. So what will it do? It will check the root bridge ID of this switch and it will check the root bridge ID of this. Okay. Now it came to know that switch 1 is better than switch 3. Okay. So it will switch to switch 1. Got it? That is how root bridge ID is compared. Right. Now after this, after root bridge ID is taken into consideration, then it will go for no. Cost. Now it is receiving the same BPDU from the two ports. Then it will check the cost. Right? It will check the cost. If the cost is matching, if it is receiving the same cost on the two ports, if it is receiving the same cost on the two ports, right? For suppose it is receiving the 10 and it is also receiving the 10, then it will go for sender port ID. Sender port ID. That is, his port ID is 1 and his port ID is 2. Right? It is receiving sender port ID 1 on port number 1 and it is receiving sender port ID 2 on switch port number 2. Right? Then it will check who is having the lowest port ID. Right? Port number 1 is the lowest port ID. It is receiving on the port number 1. So the port number 1 will be the root. So port number 1 will be the right. So now he is the root port, right? Now we want to elect the designated port. Always remember, whatever the ports are there on root bridge, they are always designated ports. all the ports on the root bridge are DP, designated ports. Okay. And second thing, on every link, on each and every link, there must be a designated port. There must be a designated port. Right? Now, on this link, there must be a designated port, and on this link, there must be a designated port. Right? So here they already we are having here one designated port, and here also we are having one designated port. Right? Here it is root port. Right? So ultimately this will become, there must be only one designated port. There must be only one designated port on the one link. Right? Now he is a designated port. There must be only one designated port on every link. Right? So this will become the block port. Now what happened? This is my designation port. It will forward the BPDU. It is my root port. It will receive the BPDU. This is my designated port. I am forwarding the BPDU. This is my blocking port. It will receive BPDU. It will only receive BPDU. That's it. Will that does nothing. It will only receive BPDU. Right? Now it calculated. Everything is set. Now port 1 of this switch 1 will forward the data. Okay. This is my root port. It is in forwarding state. It will forward the data. It will also forward the data, but it will not forward the data. So my logically, this is down and this is up. This is the concern. This is how STP works.